My name is Dana Wasser. I was a CASA volunteer here for several years back in the past. In the meantime, I was originally an educator, a public school teacher, Spanish, English, ESL. I even taught Latin, a counselor. I was a coordinator of ESL for a school district. And so this just fit right in when I retired to become a volunteer with CASA. It was at my husband's suggestion because I didn't really know a lot about what a CASA advocate is, a court-appointed special advocate. But I found it was something that fit in, particularly with a person who enjoyed children. Okay, the volunteer goes through a series of, it was actually an educational period where they take on a pretend-like case and they learn how to do their documentation for the case, how to turn in the documentation, how far you could, there are just certain things that you would do because you're always a second person in this child's life. You're never a parent. And in this class, you're very much supervised 2 or 3 hours a day, and you come in 1 night a week or maybe 2 nights a week, whatever the schedule allows for you and for the teachers. And you go through all of the information, background checks, and then eventually you're sworn in at the courthouse as a CASA volunteer through one of the judges. And in this district, of course, it's Larry Thorne or Randy Shelton, the family judges. And all the time that you are working with the child, you return in a report once a month. You need to visit the child at least once a month. And you will probably go to court at least once every 2 or 3 months to either continue as things are with the parent or to work toward, if not reunification, then work with termination of parent rights. There was one that I was touched by more than any other child. And he had several situations. His mother never was very caring for him. She would show up with a new boyfriend and want to visit with him. And sometimes he would not want to go, a small child. So I would volunteer to go with my supervisor. The CASA organization furnishes you with a supervisor who knows exactly what can be done, and you also have a child protective agency representative. So I have both of those people that could always tell me what to do, how far I could go, what I should do. And as I visited this child once a week, I noticed his mother might show up in 2 months to visit him, want to see him. And one of the times, it was the most horrible one. He did not want to go, so I told my CASA supervisor that I would be happy to go with him if that were possible. So I had to take him out of a beautiful home, a mother who wanted to adopt him if the parents' rights were ended. I went with the child. I sat in the back seat, rode with him all the way up to the courthouse, not the courthouse, the child welfare offices where he was to meet his mother. I picked up that child, and as I started to cross the street, some man came whizzing by in a Jaguar and said, "Hey, is that child up for adoption? I'll take him." And I said, "No." And I grabbed that child, protected him, ran into the building. We went upstairs. I held him in a chair, and finally his mother showed up with her new boyfriend. And as the mother was wanting to hold him, the horrible thing was he turned around and faced her. I was in a chair, he was in my lap. He wrapped his arms all the way around me and his legs around me, and they had to peel him off to visit with her. And I didn't think I could take that. It was very, knowing that as a volunteer who saw this child once a week, once every couple of weeks, he thought more of me and did not really know that mother. She never had bonded with him, and he had been in this welfare system for a year. CASA usually has an ending. They want 1 year to try to wrap up the case, either return him to a parent or return the child to a parent who has completed all of the court suggestions, or if the parent is non-caring, non-bonding, does not care, then it is up to that CASA advocate to go in with her supervisor and the Child Protective Services and recommend to the judge that this child's parent rights be terminated. In this case, this one particular child, the mother was so happy that had been his foster mother. She was a nurse in the Beaumont Independent School District. She adopted him, and I'm just happy to know that I was instrumental in helping that child find a real home and a loving home with a mother that would love him forever.